It all started in 1923 when a guy named Grantland Rice, who was one of the most well-known sports writers in America, penned a column in American Golfer, which was a magazine founded by Walter Travis. And Grantland said in the article that New York's the only one of 48 states that did not have a state golf association. Travis and Grantland Rice went up to Yanendasas and formed what is now the New York State Golf Association. Cheryl Sherman, who was a member of Yanendasas and a really good player in his own right, was the first president. And at that meeting, they decided they're going to start a men's amateur championship, which was later that year in October, Garden City Golf Club. And that fall, they played the state amateurs, 61 players. There was a draw of 16 for the match play, and it was won by a guy named Edmund Driggs from Cherry Valley Club in Garden City. In the 30s, we added the women and the juniors, and the women's, there was a woman named Helen Hicks who won 3 of the first 4. She's a real historical figure in the game. And then the juniors started also in the 30s. Tommy Goodwin won it in 1932 and also won the men's state amateur that year. 2009 is also what I think of the junior. Skiddy was when Jarek Merkelov shot 61 the last round to win, which was just an unbelievable score.
The history is really amazing, and I have learned more and more as I've been part of the executive committee and those Hall of Fame dinners. You really kind of get more of a sense of the history overall of the New York State Golf Association. It's tremendous to be able to learn about that, see those names on the trophy like Thaddeus Pepper and, Jean Bartholomew, Maura Dunn, Danielle Downey from the women's side, who all went on to play professional golf. On the men's side, Jeff Sluman and Joey Sindelar. So I think we just have such a rich history of great players that have come from New York State.
I think history is important in amateur golf through the USGA or through state golf associations. I also think that when someone does something great on the course, the first thing you ask is that a record?
For 85 years, the volunteers did the bulk of all the work that we do here. We didn't have employees. Even the executive director was a volunteer.
When I first went on the board, we had a half-time executive director in Tom Reedy, and then we went to a full-time staff. We went to Bill Moore being the very first full-time executive director. We now have grown to the point where we have about 7 full-time employees that are running the New York State Golf Association. We have regional managers for the Buffalo region, the Syracuse region, and the Capital District region. We've spread our wings so that we're now covering the entire state.
I think when we started evolving at the end of the 90s, getting into club services, and that really means the GIN handicap system. The USGA came up with this great software to allow us to be a franchisee for them to issue this software to our clubs called the Golf Handicap Information Network, GIN, to calculate handicaps digitally. Instead of having someone at the club manually do all the mathematics and do all the work, we were able to sell that software to our member clubs for a reasonable rate. And by doing that, not only did the club generate some income from their membership for this service, but we were able to generate income in an entirely different way. We've come to the point now where every golfer in New York State is now a member of the New York State Golf Association and can take part in our championships, enjoy the services that we provide to all golfers. Currently, we have over 260 member clubs with over 42,000 golfers that are members of the New York State Golf Association in just upstate New York alone. If you count the golfers all through New York State, counting the metropolitan area and Rochester, we have over 150,000 members of the New York State Golf Association.
NYSGA's focus is primarily on providing tournament opportunities to the state's best golfers through the state championships. I built upon what the leaders before me had done to take the association's competitions program to the next level. We are very proud of the product that we deliver to players.
Well, it went from one tournament, what was the men's state amateur, to 19 events, plus amateur series, sectional qualifying for USGA events. We do it all. We've gone from one event to many, many, many events for all different types of golfers.
It's like a homecoming type of feeling when you go to these tournaments because you're going to be reunited with players you've played with in previous years, and you might only see them at these tournaments every year.
I'm very proud to have my name on the trophy. Of course, it was match play in those days, 36-hole final, and to win one up, a lot of things have to go your way. That obviously was a thrill for me to play in a tournament like that, win or lose. That that was a big deal, and it still is a big deal.
A past staff member had started a little series of tournaments called the State Days, which were meant to provide more opportunities to the average golfer, player from anywhere from a 5 to, say, a 40 handicap, just so that they could experience what it's like to play a tournament conducted by the New York State Golf Association. I think in 2023, we conducted 27 tournaments with an average of 96 players at each one. So they become actually one of our more important opportunities for golfers. As part of our partnership with the United States Golf Association, we were tasked with running USGA local and sectional qualifiers throughout New York State. The vast majority of these players, this is really their only opportunity to compete in a USGA competition, albeit a qualifier. So it's very important to us as an organization to get exceptional clubs to host and provide top-tier tournament experience for these golfers.
I believe over 500,000 rounds of tournaments utilize that software to run their events this season alone. So it's pretty amazing how close of a relationship we have with our member clubs now versus 25, 30, 40 years ago. I think being a golfer in New York State is more enjoyable because of the handicap service. They're able to post their scores online. They're able to post their scores to the mobile app, our website, a club kiosk, and they're able to track their progress with the game at all times. And that's something that, due to our relationship with the USGA, they are able to more easily keep track of and hopefully enjoy the game a little bit more.
As an expert certified rules official, one of my roles in NYSGA is to organize and conduct rules seminars throughout the state of New York. These are open to any golfer from junior to senior who are interested in learning more about the game. We have a great group, anywhere from 60 to 150 at these seminars. Get lots of interesting questions, but when people leave, they are always leaving understanding more about the rules of golf, which sometimes can be a little complex.
I coached girls golf for 35 or 36 years. Then I had an opportunity to coach the boys for 20 years. Being able to go to those seminars and learn the rules and etiquette and then be able to pass it on to my players and the other coaches in the league to make sure that the events were run in a professional manner was really important.
We have over 100 volunteers that basically run the gamut of everything we do. Some are rules officials, some are senior rules officials, some are out there just marshaling, helping play along. Some help us with registration. We have 15 or 20 core volunteers that help us do our course ratings and are calibrated and trained to do just that work. So our volunteers, while they have a different role, have been vital.
Having a volunteer base as strong as ours has allowed us to do just simply more than we could do otherwise. And they're probably the more forward-facing group of the NYSGA. Players don't often get to see staff members as we're kind of running around and handling a lot of the other logistics. So they're quite often the face of the New York State Golf Association at our tournaments.
I just thought the need to give back and put in some time and effort to do the same thing for the kids that are coming up and for the other people that compete in these events. It's been my privilege to do that.
I think the biggest honor that it comes with that role is when you take a look at who has been the president before me. It's no reflection on me particularly, but it's such a great group of people that I've been able to work with over the past 30 years plus, and each of them has done something particularly special in my mind that has enhanced the organization. We have a number of youngsters that are off to college, and I think the total at the moment that we're spending is between $30,000 and $40,000 a year in awards.
But the foundation's allowing us to support our member clubs by providing scholarships to their employees. And beyond that, we're also providing an access for junior golfers to be able to first learn the game and then access green grass facilities through a program called Youth on Course, which provides access to golf courses for participating members of just $5.
We're trying to raise more money in our foundation, and we would like to grow that scholarship fund so that we can put more youngsters on scholarship that are affiliated with our various clubs.
So the New York State Golf Association, in partnership with the USGA, provides internship opportunities for recent college graduates. This is the PJ Boatwright Junior Internship Program. Essentially, every full-time staff member working with the association started as interns. The internship program here is one of the more important things the USGA has done for us and state and regional golf associations throughout the country. As we've continued to grow, we've realized that it's important for us to invest in local and regional golf associations. That is something we've made significant strides in over the last 5 to 7 years, but also something that I think is going to be an important point of growth for us in the next 5 to 10 years as well.
We need to get people to volunteer more. We need more volunteers across the entire state so that we can do a better job at providing quality tournaments across the state.
In the future, I would love to see just more participation in women's events. I feel like that's an area we could really improve upon.
I think what the 100th anniversary means to me is it's a way to look back and plan to move forward. By looking at our past and the great players and the great volunteers that we've had, gives us hope that in the future there are so many more great moments to be a part of. And we can't wait to give them that opportunity to be the story for the next 100 years.